Are you ticklish?
No.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to another dose of Table Talk, where we talk about your questions, topics, things, and stuff that you do on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag Table Talk or on reddit.com/r/SourceFed. My name's Philip DeFranco.
I'm Ross Everett.
I'm Meg Turney, and that's the door.
Da-da-da-da, door.
Don't let it hit you on the way out. What?
Is that
I
a
just
song
feel
that
like,
you're making?
no, if you say, that's the door, and then I think the follow-up to that is...
Don't hit it. I thought it was a song. We made a song together.
Sung by Muppets.
Just like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, they had the little, like, yip, 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 yip people were at Kansas City Comic-Con. What are those things called?
Really?
They're the little Muppet things. They go, yip.
Steve!
I don't know anything.
Know. It's Sesame Street.
I was talking to Lindsay. She was like, anytime you're on and they start talking about Muppets, you like just fake that you know it, and I know that you're faking it.
Now they all know as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go back and watch
I have
Table
no
Talks that
idea.
have talked about Muppets.
Yeah.
I'm just like, watch Phil panic.
It's
No, it's not
Street.
panic. Just stare through people. 'Cause-
So you were never into Muppets growing up?
No, I mean I was into Muppet Babies, but like I never was into anything.
Muppet Babies was the marijuana to my Muppet heroin. It's the
Alright.
gateway drug.
There you go.
That
I dig
and the
it.
Muppet Show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal Grag says, "Have you ever thought of an invention only to discover that it already exists?"
All the time.
yeah.
I was that one kid in class whenever it was like, we always had like, it wasn't like science fair, but it was like everybody come up with a new invention. And I always invented something that had been invented already. And I'm just not creative enough for that shit. Like I could never invent something.
I came up with something recently. I was watching someone drink a Capri Sun, and I was thinking that should be alcoholic. And I came up with the idea for sangria Capri Suns. How great would that be? I think they exist. I think they're like wine coolers, but the idea of like alcoholic Capri Suns definitely still exists. And I mean, like, it's kind of like a cool thing. You're like, this would be awesome if it existed, which is all inventing is.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, by the way, it does.
Yeah, I feel like we're in an age where a lot of shit's already been invented. Unless it's like tech,
Yeah.
it's probably been invented already.
Yeah, because I'll think of something, but it's also kind of nice because I'll think of like, I like that thing, but what if it was self-cleaning? And then I'm like, Google it, and then I Google it, and then it's just like
Self-cleaning teeth.
It's like a product that's been out for like 5 years. There's like one review, and you're like, oh, okay, nobody wants
No
it.
one wanted it.
Good. I'm really glad I didn't invest.
I'm trying to think, like, self-cleaning is a label that they throw on like ovens and toothbrushes and razors, and like I'm never like, that's a selling point. I'm always thinking like, yeah.
For oven, for me
really?
it is. Oven it is. Like a razor, I don't know why you would need it.
Well, I guess if you want
Oven,
to keep
how
reusing
is an oven? You've got to have somebody clean your house. Like they'll clean your oven
Yeah.
for you.
Well, self-cleaning oven
You
basically.
have somebody
I think
come
it
to
just,
the house and clean like things you've never, like once a
could.
year have somebody come
An
to a
oven is a
keychain.
hard thing to clean because
Yeah.
also if you're in there and you're scrubbing on an oven and someone walks in, they just think you're trying to kill yourself. Get out of the oven! It's worth it.
Ross is like,
When was the last time?
I've had
Last time
a rough
somebody
couple of years.
tried,
Yeah.
somebody tried to commit
That's
suicide via oven.
A
That sounds like a
1950s
50s,
house. Yeah, yeah.
50s
I
housewives
feel like
way
that's
to
very
go.
telling of like what your friends think about like where you are in your life.
Like,
They're like,
yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
it. You're like, I'm just cleaning.
Man, it's like put down the knife. I have oranges, man. I have no fingernails. I need to find a way to get in there. That's the juices.
At Hamodi Cads says, Seinfeld versus Friends. Which do you like more and which group would you fit into? Better friends, make friends.
Do you fit into
Oh my
Friends?
gosh,
Friends.
I love both of them. I would fit into I think Friends a little bit better. I really find myself. I'm definitely a Ross. I mean name alone, but like I'm totally like that guy that's.
Get your David Schwimmer
That's my
on.
David Schwimmer. But like Seinfeld, they're two totally different shows.
Yeah.
Seinfeld is brilliant in its way of situational comedy, the situations that they find themselves in, the way that it relates back onto itself, and everything is always like so unfortunate in the most perfect way. And Friends, the dialogue between these guys, the quips, the witticisms are timeless amongst themselves. And I mean, Seinfeld has some quotables, but not nearly as much as Friends.
Yada
does.
yada? Come on.
No, it's great.
That's
Seinfeld
a
has some
great-
stuff. By the way, there was a tweet by
Seinfeld
Patton
moment.
Oswalt where it says yada is Hebrew for I did it or we had sex. It means like to know, but in the biblical sense. So he quoted that on Twitter and he goes, Seinfeld, please return one of your Emmys.
No,
You
I would
can't
say
yada sex.
You can't yada
I'd
sex.
mention the lobster bisque. It's a good Seinfeld line. It's a good Seinfeld line.
Yeah, I
have
don't know.
friends.
I would say just because I'm cynical, but I don't know who I would be. I don't think I would be anyone. I'd just be in that world of Seinfeld. Not
You
so
wrote
much
a
friends.
self-insert fanfic
Yeah.
with you and Seinfeld.
Yeah, Phil and Seinfeld. Who would you date? Which?
Phil walks in behind Kramer. The crowd cheers even
Oh.
louder. I'm like, oh god, this is so good.
Phil comes in, punches out Kramer, leaves. The crowd goes wild.
Ah.
There was a rumor that Wayne Knight died, that Newman on Seinfeld,
Oh, yeah,
in
so.
a tractor accident, and it was fake. And thank God, because I didn't realize how much I miss him.
Jurassic Park.
You would just miss him.
Oh, I
Jurassic
just
Park.
like whenever someone that I have an affinity for.
I feel bad, like, because we've talked about it in previous ones, like guys that you can't see as anything else. Like, I don't see him as his personal life. I will always see him as Newman.
Yeah.
So he was like he was in the last season of Torchwood as like this dude that's from the government, and I was like, what the fuck is
Newman doing
doing?
it. Get the fuck out of there, Newman.
I was like, what happened with the post office? Bro?
yeah.
Like, what happened?
He got promoted.
He got promoted.
only
It's been
see
almost
him.
20 years. Yeah, he worked his way up.
See, I only see him as like his Jurassic Park character. Didn't say a single word. Yeah.
Spit.
Yeah, I
guess
love
spoiler
it's a
alert.
fantastic.
Oh, no.
It's a
Yeah.
fantastic.
Let's go just
role.
through some 1994 movies and spoil some deaths from them, huh? How do we feel about that? Here we go. This one comes from Fear the Goat Sacker. Yes. At J3D27 says, if you could revoke someone's ability to speak, who would it be? I vote Westboro Baptist or Bill O'Reilly. I'd rather give the ability to speak to a mime because I feel like they're not conveying much.
Here's the thing, like those voices, as annoying and shitty as they may be, like raise discussion in this nation that should be taking place. So I don't know. I wouldn't take anybody's voice away. I mean, even Justin Bieber being an asshole in his deposition, people are talking about it. It made himself look bad. He shot himself in the foot, and like let people shoot themselves in the foot because they will.
Oh, you know whose voice I would take away? Anonymous people on the internet. Like that bothers me. If you have like that anonymity, you say whatever the hell you want, and like you're just like the trolls that are just like, I can hide behind my keyboard and say whatever I want. I think that one thing that Google Plus kind of did right, and I know that's the worst thing in the world to say, but I think that negative comments have dropped when your real name is associated with the things that you're saying. Because I know someone commented on one of my videos and they had their real name, and I like went and like looked at who they were and was able to respond, and they went away forever.
You stalked them.
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
Yeah.
Ross just said it. I find. Let me paraphrase what you
Please.
just said.
Absolutely.
That anonymous needs to go down. So 4chan, get it.
Ah!
They are legion, Ross. They will get you.
They will. They will. They'll come. I mean, like, the idea of the anonymous commenter is such
you
an
need them.
interesting
You
thing.
need anonymity on the
Yeah,
internet.
I mean, I think
What's
like
your
sometimes-
anonymous screen name?
AF Chicky 6969.
I like that. I like that you
No, I'm
think that
just
she only
kidding.
has one.
Yeah, what's your throwaway?
All my throwaways.
All the
It
throwaways.
was hilarious. We were sitting in the writers' room like a week ago, and somebody made a joke about a throwaway Reddit account because like people post on Reddit with throwaway accounts to say stuff, and then we were like, you can have throwaways. Like every once in a while, it just dawns on
Yeah.
you that you're like, I could say whatever the fuck I wanted, but I don't. Like I just don't.
Well, there's always like sometimes, especially on Reddit, like with how much traffic it gets, like you would want to use a throwaway account to be like, I fucked my sister, and then
Yeah.
you see those people like they don't, and then you see everything else they've ever done,
Yeah.
and then you want to go through like any like actual debate they ever had, and they're like, what's up, sister?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, okay, you make a strong point there, but you also fucked your sister. So I took a logic class in college, and one of my favorite things about an 8 a.m. class ever is they taught me how to diffuse an argument. So if someone says, you booped your sister, and in response to like you making a really solid point, you just be like, well, that is an ad hominem attack because you're attacking the person saying the thing rather than the argument itself.
And
Distraction.
then
I
Ross
have
gets
a-
beat up.
Yeah, especially as I do this right after.
Don't do that.
How do you think about
Don't do
this?
that.
Yeah.
I have a
I'm gonna add
genuine
your
question.
homonym. It doesn't make sense, but
Did
it
you go
hurts.
to public school or private school as a kid, like high school?
High school was private.
Okay, so did they teach you, like, did you go to a Jewish private school?
I did.
Okay, so I dated a boy who went to a Jewish private school
Was
as
it me?
well. No,
Good.
sorry, we're not telling anybody yet. But they taught him how to debate religion with people. Like, were you taught that as well?
Well, we were taught how to defend Israel, which was so
Oh.
interesting to me because, like, even was they were like, well, you say this. Like, they had already taught us how to critically think, so they did it in the wrong order.
Yeah.
So we were like questioning them about like a lot of stuff, and they were just like, well, like, you know, it's the homeland, and it's where all the Jews belong. And like, while Israel is a beautiful place, like it was really funny because we had already been taught the tools to see that what they were delivering to us was a bit propaganda-esque.
Right.
So I mean, like
Interesting.
I'm actually, I think I'm going to Israel this summer. I think it's great, but by all means, in the political debate, am I staying far and away until I could like research and form a real opinion about it?
I get it. I just wondered, that made me think of it when you were like, how to take down an argument, because it was hard arguing with him because he was really good
I think
at it.
part of it
because
is
he was
also
taught
like,
as a kid.
as our parents teach us, like they can dissuade any one of our arguments, like and take it apart. Well, why are you feeling like? Also, like therapist plus Jewish, I went through the ringer as a kid. So I hope I'm articulate. I hope they passed that down to me.
At Spencer Ramsey 16 says, would you rather be able to tell your future or the future of everyone around you?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Would I rather be able to tell, like, see your future? I feel like I'd rather be able to see your
I
future.
see others just so I could manipulate my own because of those.
Oh yeah, I would think because knowledge is power. So if I'm
That
just
is.
like,
Knowledge is-
Like, if I see that you're going to be successful, I'm going to be friends with you.
No,
You're going to
no.
be successful. Like, I'm going to
you
make
guys
sure I get the best future
cozy
by
up to Meg
manipulating.
because
Meg.
big things are happening for Meg. Yeah.
I'd be like, so this guy's gonna. Well, no, like when you're in a business meeting and someone's like, I got this idea, and you're like, it sounds good, but you also might do coke every day and be
Yeah.
a crazy person.
That's
Let's look into the
being
future.
able to see
you
their
do coke
past.
every day, and then you.
Well, right, that's saying who they are.
That's vetting a person. But like it'd be like really cool because like let's say you're crossing the street and like I'm like, oh, that bus is gonna kill Phil. I do this. I save your life. Real cool.
What if
I?
the twist
Real
is you- what if
cool.
the twist is
Suddenly
you
I'm the
can't
cool
change it?
guy.
Oh, you can't. I still think I choose it. Because if I have no power over changing it, I still think it would freak me out too much to see my own.
But wouldn't you see your own through other people? Like if you met a girl and you saw that her future was with you, wouldn't you then know that your future was with her? Like wouldn't you be able to get glimpses of your own future through other people?
Yeah, like, or if you're dating someone, you see their future and they're married to someone else, you know for a fact that, well, first of all, you can't change that.
Yep.
And second of all, you're not in it.
Fuck up everything, I think. Just
Also, I
knowing
think
anything.
I think I would just be interested not with specific people I know. It's just people then turn into books and stories that you can like kind of follow, which is kind of cool.
I think I kind of view people like that anyway. There's that Steve Jobs quote that he gave at like a commencement speech. It says like, your
that
dots
convention
will
speech is awesome.
connect. You just don't know how yet. Just trust that they will. And so, like, whenever I go through something in my life, I've always viewed my life as a story that's happening. And especially from, like, a script point of view, whenever I'm feeling down and, like, a lot of stuff is coming on me at once, I go, okay, this is the start of it. This is, like, where everything hits the fan.
Yeah, this is your act two.
And this is my break into act two. I'm taking action now and coming out of it. So I just, every bad thing that ever happens to you, just view it as the break into act two.
Yeah,
That's
I think
so
that,
much more positive than mine.
Yeah, you're just like the dark of the soul.
I'm like, destroy everything. Everything's good again.
Yeah. Well, that's how it ends. That's it has to go real deep.
Yeah,
and
to
then,
come back
yeah,
up.
and then you get your little days.
No, as a history major, we're taught like not to treat history as like the approach of horse hooves, which is like that people who are in a certain historical situation don't know how significant it's going to be. Like obviously we see like, oh, the lead up to World War II, everybody should have seen that coming, but the people living in it have no clue
You can't
what's
tell.
happening.
Right now
so
we're living
that's
in the
same.
lead up to something right now, and we have no idea.
So you have to treat your life like that. Like maybe it's a lead up to something like you have no idea.
I've been thinking about that. I follow this Twitter account called History Pics, and they just
Oh, they're good.
It's so good, like beautiful pictures throughout history, all these older things. But like you see, like here's a picture of teenagers in the 1920s, and you're like, they look like I do. Like I'm gonna be old one day. These were just people living in the moment. One day, someone is going to stumble upon this footage and be like, man, like it was crazy back in 2014. Look at how happy they were. They had no idea the end of the
what was
world
gonna
coming.
happen.
Yeah.
Adding color to gray photos, like grayscale photos, or black and white photos, has added so much dimension. Like people, it's like something clicks and people are like, oh yeah, the world wasn't black and white
Right.
back
Yeah.
then. It was like a regular world. It's very cool.
Yeah, very
nuts.
close to us. Yeah, I was watching a Johnny Carson documentary on Netflix, and it was so interesting to just see, like, just him change.
Oh yeah,
over the years.
get
So-
older, age.
Yeah.
like same thing with like the if you look at Letterman when he was on like late night.
Yeah.
And then you think about that Jimmy Fallon. One day there will be a documentary about his time as the Tonight Show host, and people will have their opinions, and they will call him what they will call. His legacy will be sealed.
Yeah,
So-
but it was amazing because obviously like the eyes stay pretty much for the most part.
Even
And then-
Michael Jackson's eyes stayed.
But then just like the
No, that's not a joke.
I was
Look
like,
at Michael
oh, yeah.
Jackson as a
I was
kid.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing you could recognize on Michael Jackson when he was a kid to when he was an adult are his eyes.
But it was just like the way he handled himself. I don't know. It was just, it definitely.
Carson?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're back to Carson.
Yeah. No, not
The way he handled himself. He handled others too. Go on.
Guys, that's it for Table Talk. Thanks for submitting your topics using the hashtag Table Talk on Twitter or on Reddit r/SourceFed. I'm McTurney.
I'm Philip DeFranco.
I'm Ross Everett.
I'm going to act like the thing you just said was in reference to Carson womanizing and not to little boys.
Was he a womanizer?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Big time. That's the only thing I really pulled from it.
And Ed McMahon was an alcoholic. Probably.